Shy, Bordo,
Hey,
pleasure.
what's up, man? Pleasure.
Hey, how's it? Yeah, how's it going? It's nice to see you on the channel.
Yeah, nah, thanks for the invite again, man. I mean, I didn't even know Chicago fuck with me like that.
Yeah, we fuck with you though.
Hey, I'm surprised that you said yes to him because no one even likes Shy.
They don't fuck with me like that.
It's
Real ones
only
only on this side.
yeah, you ain't lying. But Bordo, you know what? I've been keeping up with your channel, man. With respect to like, I was telling Shy that like, people are always asking me why don't I go on other people's channel and stuff like that, and I'm always like, the politically correct thing to say is that I can't or that I don't have nothing to promote or anything like that. But in reality, like I can't say no to someone who's authentic and someone who's real, Um,
Hey, thanks.
and that's why I said, look, man, I'm more than happy to jump on your channel and for us to talk and have an interview or whatever. It's up to you. I'm open to it. Um, and I appreciate you even reaching out and being interested. I know that it was a couple people on your channel that actually reached out and were commenting. So I think
Yeah,
that that's great to to your fans and everyone who's into that.
yeah. I got a really strong fan base. Just out of, we don't really have people representing our city like that right now. You know what I mean? Even the artists that we got that they're famous, they kind of like they're like Grupo Firme. You don't associate Grupo Firme with Tijuana. Kind of you associate more now to like Mazatlan. You know what I mean? So like we just having people like that, you kind of have this empty fan base where it's like we need somebody to represent, and I think that's why I've been getting love, man, because that's the comment I've been getting more like, hey, man, thanks for what you're doing for the city. You're representing. You're telling the truth. You're a real one and all this stuff. So like, so I mean, then thanks for recognizing. You know what I mean? I mean, the
Yeah.
same way, like we like I said, I mean, I don't really politics on like, well, you told them this or this and that. I just recognize like you're one of the realest ones at one point. You know what I mean? And I mean, you still are. You just had to do what you had to do, and I've come to learn that you don't get to judge people's decisions because you're not in their shoes, and until you're not there, there's all kinds of grays and all kinds of shit in this life. Like Ed calls it the upside down life or the upside down world because shit's just different. You know what I mean? So I kind of learned that at a very early age, but I still respect the realness, man. So that's
I
why I was
mean,
trying to reach out.
yeah, Bordo, mis respetos, and ya sabes, it's I'm sure that you kind of understand. I think that I mentioned this, sometimes with Shy that, especially as of recently, like people just started seeing this shit, through social media, and you've been at the border, like what it's like, and and being in the life, right? I don't make excuses, but like there's two sides of the way you view, look at things, and and living them, different vantage points, right? Like
Hmm.
it was easy for me to, well, at first it wasn't, but when you the grand scheme of things, you look at everything that's going on. Like when you understand that from a, you know, firsthand experience, and you're witnessing it, on your own. Like I was like, man, like it's hard. Like you think all these years that everything's supposed to be a certain way, and then you start
Hmm.
recognizing that it's not. And it's hard, man. Like for anyone, like especially for me coming from Chicago, right? And like everyone's always wants to be the top dog, right? And they always seem like the ones that really try really hard, nunca son, right?
Hmm.
They don't make it.
Hmm.
And now here I am, always thinking that I was more of a, like, free enterprise, como like todos estamos iguales, right? With that kind of
Hmm.
mindset. And then I had to adjust, you know, to next thing you know, like, no way, you're, you, where we fall, like I had bosses, and I had people that, would require, for people to be a certain way. And that was something new for my brother and me, Like, what do you mean I can't be cool with everyone now? What do you mean I can't do this and I can't do that, right? That
Hmm.
was like a learning process, coming from the States, where told him I'll do whatever I wanted,
Hmm.
and money is the one that decides, the money's power, and you get to a situation where it's like, no, así no son las cosas. That was like a learning experience, but never kind of like went away from us, from me and my brother, to be like man, like we're gonna try to be as real as we can. And you speak about real, and I think that seriously, like, who could argue with me then if me being real that it wasn't for me? You know what I'm saying? That part
Yeah,
of it
yeah,
wasn't for me. You know?
yeah. I don't think like it's like I heard Lucha Parra talking about this movie. I never watched it, but he talks about a guy that was always doing everything right, and he was a painter, and then he works really hard to buy a bike so he could keep like go more places and work, and then eventually he buys this bike and he gets his bike stolen the day he buys it, so he just kind of like pops off and goes crazy, and now he's stealing bikes, and then he goes to jail, and now like they're telling his kids like, yeah, este era un pinche ratero de bikes, you know what I mean, and it kind of canceled out like all the hard working he did like before that, you know what I mean. And to be honest, it's not really fair. I don't think that cancels it out. You know what I mean? I just think like one mistake shouldn't fucking be like whatever or
Yeah.
what decision. You know what I mean? So I think that I mean that's how I see it. You know what I mean? I don't care who fucking doesn't like it or not. At the end of the day, like I say, I'm a YouTuber. Dog. I'm not politicking. I'm not playing your
Yeah.
game. If
Yeah.
you wanna come watch my channel, you gotta watch it with the lenses that I'm a YouTuber. And I'm not. I don't care about you. You know, especially in America, where, like I go to these podcasts and they always mention like the snitching stuff and like how is it for like the cartels and this and that. I'm like, bro, in Mexico we use that for our advantage. You know, you might tell somebody, yeah, go snitch on this guy. You know, or you use the government to your like to to rob the other guys or to catch the other guys. So in Mexico, it's not really something very very like oh unless you do like I don't know, unless you really like betray or something, but everybody knows how it is, you know, in the cartel. And it's not really like in America where it's like, oh, you're a snitch, you're banned for life, or you're scar, you know, stuff like that. So
Mm.
I think it's harder for I understand to like the American side how like you mentioned Vicente. I mean, he even wrote a book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He not only told in the office, he told the whole world about it. You know what I mean? And you see the
And
Sinaloa cartel mostly like being very like flamboyant about this stuff. You know, you see their
yeah.
cemeteries with their big ass cemeteries, big ass houses. They're the extravagant ones. They're the like the mostly like in social media. You know what I mean? Los más ruidosos, as we say,
Yeah.
because I mean, you have people that have told in other cartels too, but most of the families like Jalisco, Tijuana, they're very like very low key. You know, they're not known. You don't really, you know what I mean? I feel like that, and I think like in the Sinaloa kind of broke that way in of just like being on social media and recording everything, and not only like narco videos like back in the Blog del Narco area where they would send
Yeah.
messages. You know? Now it's just like recording their parties and their luxuries and shit like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know what? As you mentioned that, like that was a great analogy too. So that you, we'll admit that we stole it from Luis Chaparro, then, okay, El Pintor, right? But
Yeah.
how do you feel like, you know, being mixed in, right? Because like I don't know, like me and my brother, right? I don't know. Sometimes I'm more American, tomorrow I'll be more Mexican, um, and I think that the ones that make a lot of noise are siempre van a hacerlo like the American side, right? That culture, because like you said, you know, if you know or heard of me and my brother, and you understand that part of it, that you're gonna be like, no, well, I know the game, and for them to get there, then I could imagine, right? Like you
Hmm.
don't even question that. But on the American side, you know, they're like they're delusional, right? And it comes with a lot of hate, and especially because of the culture, right? They a lot of people think that they could come, tell stories. You see all these fake people, and they glamorize all the stuff, and um, like to lift themselves up. But what do you think when it comes to like the culture, especially with the with the gang culture, bro? Because
I
it's
think
hard with
I
them,
think I think it's because like in America you don't really deal with the cops as in Mexico where you like bribe them, you give them money. Like they openly work for the cartel, kind of like, or even if you don't have to be cartel, where you get pulled over, you give them some money, and you kind of you don't see the cops as like black and white. You know what I mean? Like obviously they're cops and they will fuck with you. Like you don't trust them, but there's always a way. You know what I mean? Whereas in America, like you're fucked in America, like you get caught, you're fucked with. You're not gonna bribe yourself out. Like these cops are not, you know what I mean? At least I'm not on that level. I think. Um, so I think maybe that's why they have more hatred towards like people that like inform or tell or whatever. And whereas in Mexico, you kind of understand that it's kind of like survivals. You know what I mean? You kind of understand you're gonna that's why you get to read your enemy's footsteps. Like, oh, he's probably gonna snitch because he's been fucked. You know what I mean? So I don't.
Check my wallet.
That's where I think it becomes in a gray area. And I see that my homie Lupe, he wrote if snitching was on in Mexico, every Chapo and the Beltrán go to war. Snitching is not okay in any cartel. Chapo had a
Oh
cousin
my
whacked for
God,
telling. Nah, I think
Lupe,
like even that.
Lupe.
I mean, I'm sure you know more, but I kind of want to tell Lupe about this. Like, that wasn't even because of snitching. That was, like I said, it's more of a betrayal. You know what I mean? One guy betrayed the other one. Or I don't know if you can correct me or if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure you know more about
Well,
this,
no,
Jay.
well, that's funny because I've been like Lupe's a fan, really. Okay, so he's up and down. One day he likes you, and one day he doesn't. And he's from Tijuana, San Diego area, and he was one of those people that was in a life, and he's a gangster that did a snitch. You know, one of those guys. Um, but it's stupid. Like snitch is always like when we talk about that, no excuses. I told you already. Yeah, that's part of it. The reason why they went to war is because he gave up one of the brothers. It was personal to someone who
Yeah, that's
had
what I'm
all the
saying.
power.
It's
Like,
more on the personal side. Yeah, it's more. It's not really because of like the organization. Like, oh, he told or nothing. It was personal. You know what I mean? It
pero
had.
¿qué hacemos, güey? ¿Qué hacemos cuando dicen pendejadas así? Like, neta, I don't
No,
even
but
know,
yeah,
bro.
it's que mi compa
You
Lupe, he's from San Diego. That's what I'm saying. That's more the American culture. You know what I mean? I think that's more of the American thing of like snitching and all that. They don't really understand the details. Like in that case that I mentioned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Lupe,
yeah,
salutes to you, Lupe. But like, once they have meetings to sit down and tell their sons, "Hey, bro, it's okay. Handle your
Yeah,
business. Go talk."
They're
Once you
planning on
do that,
snitching. They're
it
planning
seems
on.
okay to me, bro. It seems like it's okay.
Yeah,
well, well,
especially
no,
the bosses are doing it. So
well,
it's not the same as like the culture in America. It's definitely not the same in Mexico. You know what I
it's
mean?
because mira, let me just tell you, one day, not in, like, I hope you guys understand, no disrespect to Shy to you, but I got stories, right? Real, imagine, just imagine the other side of the stuff that I knew and the stuff that I was asked to do, okay?
Tell
Just
us right
imagine.
now. Tell us everything. Right?
No, but I'm gonna tell you, but that's not an excuse why I did what I did. I did what was best for me. And I'll tell you
Hmm.
one thing. It's real simple. They always say, right? It's fun and games until the bunny got the gun, right? Shit. Once I got that, I had to create my own gun. I like, man, like I gotta decide. And there's no, like, people forget, bro. There's no guarantee for me to make it from Mexico, make it out alive. You know, like I didn't do it from Mexico. With agents watching over me. Like I had to risk my life just for the chance to even snitch, if that makes any
Hmm.
sense. Like people
And
overlook that sometimes.
the people that know the stories, we know that Mayo and Chapo have been turning people in forever. You know what I mean? They've been working with the DA with like forever since 2001, I think, something like that, where Chapo sat down with them, and that's how he got rid of the
Nah, since
Arellanos. You know what I mean?
1998, I think it was 1998, bro.
All these
He
guys
got
that
down
I've
with them
known
first
from
in
like the
1998,
all these guys
99
from the
around that.
Arellano cartel that
Yeah.
are coming out now and stuff like that, and that I've gone to talk to them, they were like, yeah, we weren't getting any deals because the DA had already made a deal with Chapo about taking us out. So a lot of those guys weren't even offered deals. You know what I mean? A lot of those guys were just getting years, and they just wanted to get rid of them
They wish
because
that
Chapo was.
they wish that they could talk at that point.
Nah, yeah, one of them told me, like, I even asked him, like, hey, what kind of deal would I get if I got something offered? And then when he read it, he was like, oh, fuck this, they're just trying to fuck me, like. And the cop told him, like, I don't know, Steve Duncan, I don't know which one, but one of them told him, like, yeah, we're just trying to get rid of you guys. There's no deal with you guys. You know what I mean? We're already made a deal with somebody else, so it's different. Even Oakland
Oh my
Leaks,
God.
already.
Hey,
You know what
with
I
all the
mean?
respect,
Even Oakland Leaks, I mentioned, like,
yeah,
if I'm in his shoes way and I'm trying to, like, these guys are taking my shit and I'm taking it, like, I'm between like espada y la pared, basically. You're gonna have to do what you're gonna have to do, whether other people understand it or not. You know what I mean? That's why I don't like to judge way, because you've never been in that position. You know what I mean? It's hard to be in that position of somebody else. And I mean, you can always say, like, ah, you should have done, whatever, or like we see Menchito, he took he went to court. I think he took he went to trial, no, or something like that. He didn't want to take the deal or something like that. You got those people too, man. But then I think you put in the balance, like, okay, but this guy won't get to see his family in like 40 years. You know what I mean? This guy, he's already got a fucking podcast going on. So, you know what I mean? Like I mean, it depends on on the, what do you call it? En la pesa que la quieras medir. You know what I mean? It depends what you're trying to be in life, what you're trying to get at. You want your legacy to be a real one forever, or you want to be a real one with your family and be there on Christmas with your daughters and sons. You know what I mean? It's both. I think they're respected. Both are respectful. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm nobody to judge whether like, oh, he should have done this or he should have done that. I'm not in those shoes, dog. You know what I mean? It's hard. I've been in hard situations myself where other people would not understand the decisions you took. You know what I mean? So that's why I think I don't like to. I stay neutral, and I mean, there's some like I've said it before. There's some shit that Oakland has done where I'm like, oh, he still wants to go into war. You know, he's doing some sneaky stuff where he's like, but he's not a YouTuber. He's a guy that's still on a full-on war, and he uses YouTube as a weapon.
He's an active participant.
Yeah. Whereas me, like, I don't even want to be looked at as a journalist. You know what I mean? I don't even want to be looked at as a reporter, bro. I'm an entertainer. It's called El Bordo Entertainment. You know, you're here to, if you want to watch, you want to like I said, you want to get some news out of shit, you go watch Fox 6 or something. You know, if you want to entertain yourself, you turn on Netflix. I'm Netflix. You know what I mean? you turn on and entertain. You're not gonna, you know, I'm not trying to inform you on what's going on with the border and shit. Like, I don't really care if you know now. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't really care if you know or you don't. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get you to tell. I just want to be creative with the way I tell my stories, and then I like to use reality because rawness is already a good juicy story about it, and that's it. You know what I mean? Other than that, I don't judge what anybody did. We got a cool, like I said, I look at my life as a movie. I look at your life as a movie, and I know Jay has a sick ass movie away, so I want to talk to him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't. You know, I'm not nobody to judge.
So guys, if you're looking for facts, you go talk to Johnny Mitchell. I'm just kidding. Let's talk about the writing.
Yeah, people don't really fuck with Johnny, man. I mean, I do because he's not gonna get me to say something I won't say.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I already know what I can say or cannot. I'm not gonna let him lie on my name or anything. And he was pretty transparent with what we did. I don't know if you saw the video, Murder City.
I did. I saw the trip that y'all took out there, or the trip that he took out there with you and Ed. It was great. It was you know, even if it was just you and Ed with a fucking camcorder, that shit would have been crazy. You know what I'm saying? Again, I give it up to Johnny too. Johnny's doing his thing. I have my issues with it, but I'm not in YouTube for all of that drama and all of that bullshit. And the way you said it, he ain't gonna make you say no shit that you don't want to say. That's like these dudes.
Nobody
that
can, bro.
Vlad.
Nobody can. I'm fucking 35. Nobody can make me say something.
These
you know
guys
what I mean?
go on Vlad. They say some shit like, "Papa, that was you, bro. You tricked yourself into that situation." You know what I'm saying?
You're weak-minded ass talking your ass out loud for those fucking 15 grand that he offered you or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Or some shit. Now you're all fucking arrepentido because you can't shut your mouth though. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You gotta learn the parameters of what you can say or you cannot say. You know what I mean? And I think as the street guys, we know how to talk like that just off the rip, just because that's how you talk, you know?
Right.
And so that's why I'm like, I've seen all these shows. I've been a fan of podcasting and YouTube forever, man. So I kind of study everything, and I'm like, why? I don't get the hate that Black gets. I don't get it. Like, why does he get the hate when it's the guys talking about themselves?
Absolutely.
It's funny that someone, like, they'll blame everyone else for the stuff they do. You get me? You know, like, whatever I come on and say, sometimes I touch out like, man, I shouldn't have said this, but that's my fault, you know?
Yeah, but you realize you don't blame the interviewer, you know what I mean? You know, you're like, la cagué, you know what I mean?
Yeah, shy, you led me onto that.